Shilajit is quite an amazing substance. I remember my first experience with Shilajit was when I was just a teenager. My mom and dad had brought home a container of Shilajit powder that they had bought somewhere at, like, I think it was some sort of a wellness center down in Laguna Beach. And it was proof. The flavor of this stuff is one of the most intense of any of the herbs I've experienced. And I would just kind of mix a little bit with water. I didn't really know what to do with it, but we were kind of just all experimenting and trying it out and going with, in the spirit of adventure. And the flavor was intense, but the energy that came from it, this was like fire. And it was an amazing feeling and got me really excited. And it's something that I still enjoy to this day. Now, what is Shilajit? Because it's not a plant that just grows there. It's not a root that you dig out of the ground. It's a nutrient-rich mass that oozes out of the rocks in the Himalayas. It's known traditionally, in terms of the translation, as the conqueror of mountains and the destroyer of weakness. It's a pretty awesome name, right? Now, traditionally, this was considered a general tonic that had a wide variety of benefits and an ability to generally support the body in maintaining a healthy robustness. This is an adaptogen, and it's traditionally looked at as an anti-stress remedy. And it also is traditionally said to enhance the benefits of other herbs. It's a potentiator of other herbs that you might take with it. And we talk a lot about the three treasure system of Taoist tonic herbalism. Now, this Shilajit was not necessarily incorporated in the Taoist herbal system because it was coming from India. So in the Taoist system, we talk about Jing, which is the first treasure. It's your core kidney adrenal reserve energy. It's your savings account of energy. Well, it turns out over in the land of India, in the world of Ayurveda, they had this pretty well figured out too. And they called this Ojas. This is the same concept effectively as your Jing. Now, Ojas, this herb right here we're dealing with, Shilajit, is an Ojas tonic. So this is what we might consider in the Taoist system a Jing tonic. And this is made of decomposed plant material, which is called humus. And it's funny because you'll read some places online and they'll misspell it. I found one website online where they say it's comprised of hummus, 2 M's. No, this is just 1 M. There is no hummus in Shilajit. It's humus. And so this is made over a long period of time in the rocks. And this is where you have plant matter that's compressed by high heat and high pressure over a long period of time. And when it gets hot, this oozes out of the rocks in the Himalayas in the summer heat. It's pretty spectacular. And it was originally discovered by yogis who would observe that the monkeys would go around and lick this stuff and be super healthy and have lots of energy. And they said, let's check it out. And they started feeling pretty good too. And Shilajit contains 84 different minerals. It has fulvic acid and humic acid and wild compounds like dibenzo alpha pyrones and phenolic glycosides. Now, you don't need to remember those. There's no test at the end. Don't worry, but I just like to share this fun stuff with you guys. And it's hypothesized that the fulvic acid actually helps carry nutrients deep into the tissues of the body and carry out toxins that are stored very deeply as well. And it's more than just fulvic acid that's delivering the magic of what Shilajit is doing. There's a lot of different compounds in there that are acting in synergy. Now, you get Shilajit coming from different places. For example, Shilajit that you find in northern India is higher in fulvic acid. It's around 21% fulvic acid on average. Then you get Shilajit from Nepal, that's only 15%, or Pakistan, that's also about 15%. And you get some in Russia as well, which is around 19% fulvic acid. But Shilajit from Nepal shouldn't be totally overlooked because it's actually higher in some of the other bioactive compounds that we're after here as well. Now, there's 4 different varieties of Shilajit that have also been described in the ancient texts. We have gold Shilajit, and this is in more of a reddish color. You have silver Shilajit, which is white in color. You have copper Shilajit, which is more of a blue hue to it. And then you have the most common, which is the iron-containing Shilajit, which is brown to black in color. Now, the copper and gold varieties are extremely rare, and by far the most common and the one that you're pretty much only going to see in the market here in America is going to be the iron-containing Shilajit. Now, you don't necessarily want to just have Shilajit straight out of nature. That's how it was, of course, traditionally consumed, but there can be quite a number of toxins that come with it. really, if you're going to consume it, it should really undergo purification to remove things like metals and mycotoxins that are absolutely not superfoods and not promoting your health in any way. Now, what does Shilajit do in terms of specific benefits that have been researched? Well, there's not a tremendous amount of deep research that's been done on it, but there is some. So let's take a look. So some research was done looking at testosterone and fertility in men who were supplementing with 250 milligrams twice a day for 3 months, and they did see improvements in different metrics of fertility and testosterone levels. And also animal studies have shown that Shilajit is actually absorbed into the testes in these animal models, and it's said there to decrease oxidative damage and improve sperm production. And also in animal studies, you see that Shilajit is helping to restore the HPA axis, which is your balance of your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals. And this helps to reduce fatigue and anxiety, and also is about supporting the mitochondria, which are what makes the energy for every cell throughout your entire body. Now, some researchers also are hypothesizing that this could be helpful with addiction. Now, we look at a mouse study where it showed reduced symptoms of withdrawal and also curbing addictive behavior by actually alerting dopamine levels in the limbic system. Now, some researchers also think that it could help with the opioid epidemic. Now, this is, we're taking a couple leaps of faith here and trying to make some connections, but these researchers are saying that it could help people not develop a tolerance to opioid drugs and get to the point where you're taking more and more and more. There's a mouse study that also found that ashwagandha combined with Shilajit was able to help reverse alcohol withdrawal anxiety. So this is something that Shilajit is great to take on its own, but it's especially good to take with other herbs, as we talked about earlier, because of the synergistic effect that it brings. It helps to carry these herbs deeper into your system. Now, gut health is always something that we want to think about. How is this going to affect gut health? Now, its antioxidant properties are hypothesized to help protect the stomach from damage from oxidative stress and inflammation that can come with various different digestive issues. And it contains benzoic acid that could possibly help fight bacterial issues in the gut and help fight down SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where you get too much bacteria in the small intestine that need to be killed off or pushed back down into the large intestine. And stress, of course, is something that we deal with every day, especially more in recent years for a lot of folks. Now, this is said to increase dopamine levels in different emotional regions in the brain. In mice, it was also increasing GABA levels. And this is the main calming neurotransmitter, which is helping to reduce overactivity in the brain. So Shilajit is a spectacular herb in many ways, from energy to being an overall tonic, a supporter of your deep reserve energy levels, whether we look at that from the concept of Jing or Ojas or from the modern lens of regulating the HPA axis. It's very exciting. And it's going to be cool to watch over coming years and see how research on Shilajit develops. But if you're consuming it, you definitely want to make sure you're consuming a very pure one, a very clean one. There's a whole wide spectrum of qualities out there, as with all herbs, but Shilajit, I think, has an especially wide breadth of quality as you see out there on the market. So if you've had a good experience with Shilajit or a bad experience, whatever your experience has been, I'm curious to know. Please leave a comment below. Or if something in here has made you excited about Shilajit and you're curious to try it, let me know what it is that perked your attention there. I'm always curious. And if you don't mind, before you go, just go leave us a like and subscribe to our channel down below. It's a great no-cost way to support what we're doing here and help us to grow the channel, and also helps us continue to make these videos for you guys. Thanks so much. Have a beautiful day and look forward to seeing you all again next time.